Tommy Rex, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time. Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now, here's your host.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle, and I'm going to take myself to the confessional right now, and looking forward to speaking with Lilith from the band Dogma. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing just fine, enjoying the south of hell after a successful tour around Europe, South, and Central America.
Oh, nice. Oh, forgive me. I forgot something. Hold on. Bless us, O Lord, for these gifts which we're about to receive for thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. All right. Sorry, sister.
Well.
But okay, now that I got that out of the way. I like to, when I have somebody on for the first time, I like to kind of go like way back. When you were like little Lilith, did you always aspire to grow up and like serve from a heavy metal convent?
Yes, I think I always planned on taking over the world ever since I was a small Lilith.
Nice. And then can you recall like some of the earliest influences in music that you would hear growing up?
Ooh, well, I grew up listening to a lot of my parents' music. My father used to listen to a lot of rock, for example, the Rolling Stones. He was a big fan of America, the band. My mother used
no
to
name. Yeah.
Yeah, my mother used to listen to Depeche Mode. She also liked the Stones, the Beatles, so a little bit of, more easygoing classic rock, Journey, this kind of American rock. So those could probably be my earliest influences.
And then when was it that you like kind of felt the calling to start performing?
I think I was born performing. As far as I can remember, I always enjoyed the attention, and I grew up in a very musical family. I was playing classical piano since the age of 4, and then I began my guitar lessons around the age of 8, and around 16, I picked up the bass just for fun. I was taking vocal lessons also during my teenage years. So I think music was always around me. My great grandfather was a classical violinist. And all his children, my grandmother and all their siblings, were trained in some kind of instrument. So it runs in the family.
Okay, nice. And then when was it that, or when you started like going and playing out with some like-minded individuals? What was like the music scene like where you grew up at?
Well, where I came from, that's quite a part of the mystery. But when I started playing music, more towards my late teen years, it was quite interesting just finding people who enjoyed the same kind of music than me and bonded differently than I was bonding with other people. I remember some of the stuff we really enjoyed playing was a lot of Pink Floyd. I recall one of my first performances was Brain Damage by Pink Floyd.
Nice.
Yes.
And then, so when was the calling to perform and come together with Dogma? When did that come together for you?
Well, as the years went by, I was heavily influenced by my brother's music taste, who is the biggest fan of Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, Pantera, and then he started getting me into the heavier side of things. I mean, I had this always growing up, but it started coming closer and closer to me, and I just fell in love with it. And with Dogma, I think we found each other at the right moment, at the right time, and it just felt like things had aligned.
Yes, perfectly, perfectly. I feel I, growing up a heavy metal fan myself, but also like raised Catholic with kind of a nun kink, and it's like the perfect storm when I've discovered Dogma. It's like all of my favorite things
Oh,
rolled
wow.
rolled
You were
into one.
excited, aroused, a little scared.
Yes, all of the above, as I am right now. No,
Fantastic.
but what like I started like kind of journeying down the Dogma video library, and also like I was playing, on Apple Music, kind of going through shuffle on there, and one of your songs, Forbidden Zone, um,
Hmm.
was uh, really caught my ear. Do you care to talk a little bit about performing that song?
About performing that song, well, Forbidden Zone is how usually the ritual starts. So I have a deep um, fondness for this song because when Forbidden Zone starts playing, it means the ritual has begun. It has this soft beginning where, I'm before the band comes in, before the other sisters come in, and the audience doesn't know what's coming yet. So I think that's the most exciting part. With the beginning of Forbidden Zone is this soft singing I have, and then suddenly boom, the rest of it comes in, and you have no idea where you're going, which is exactly what we want our listeners and our sinners and those watching the shows to feel when they hear the song. And it's very exciting. It's extremely exciting. It's one of my favorite songs to perform for this reason.
It's like once you got on the train and it starts running off the tracks and it's too late to get off, you're already
Exactly.
pulled
Exactly.
in.
Just like that.
And another song that I really enjoyed was "Free Yourself." It was very groovy and seductive. Do you mind talking a little bit about the message behind that song?
Well, Free Yourself is a song which relates a lot to the message of Dogma in general. I'm not sure if you are familiarized with the 13 commandments.
Oh no, not yet.
Well, I invite you to check out the Dogma website, and you will find the 13 principles and commands under which we would like our sinners to know and to carry on their lives, kind of having these things in mind, because we believe this will bring you closer to a truer, more liberated version of yourself. And that is kind of what is behind Free Yourself. This, as it says, free yourself, beyond judgment, beyond what others may think. And it's Lilith empowering herself, me, through all of that. You have lyrics like, they beat me, attacked me, but I loved it. It's taking control of your life, no matter what they say, no matter what's going on, just freeing yourself and being liberated, which is what
Nice.
we would like our sinners to feel when they listen to our music or when they find about us, to approach a closer, truer version of themselves, perhaps.
I think that's what I was feeling. Something similar, at least when I was watching some of the music videos. I believe. And
Well, which one was
uh,
your favorite?
well, one of my favorites. Well, I there was some stuff I liked about every one of them. Like I was just going to ask about Fate Unblinds. Um, bringing into the world new life, I guess. Do you want to share a little bit about the message behind that song?
Yes, absolutely. As you may know, this is a story about me, Lilith, and the Dogma universe. So, with Fate and Blinds, you have the light Messiah and the dark Messiah, my children, and then the dusk Messiah does this swap. So here, themes of betrayal from your own family, from someone who you would trust, come into play. But not only betrayal, but that sense when you know that something's wrong. The second I saw my baby, I knew something wasn't right. And you can see that in the video, the concern that I felt as soon as I was handed the dark Messiah. It wasn't my baby, the light Messiah. It was swapped and by someone I trusted in a moment of weakness, about to give birth, vulnerable, and yet I was betrayed. So these themes are the ones explored in this video. And again, it adds to the story of my wonderful life.
Now I know what I liked really about the videos, all of them telling a story, to be continued. And like getting to that point where we
My
just
story, more
talked
specific.
about. Yeah. Yes. And I was kind of counting on YouTube was throwing them in order for me, but I don't know if they were the right order. So I might have to go back and find out what the right order is and watch
Well,
watch
the
them.
right order is the way they are laid out in the record. So you would find that the first track would be the first video, the last track would be the last video.
Okay. And I'll have to
Long
get that.
order of ideas, and the story itself is told chronologically.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to get that track list and watch the videos
Yes.
in that order once again. I mean, there's definitely videos that I can go back and watch over and over again and thoroughly enjoy for matters that we discussed earlier.
Yes. Did you
And
watch my matricidal or other new video?
yeah, that's that's what I was getting to next. Your latest single, My Matricidal. I really loved the violins opening up, and I don't know if is that something that you guys are going to also take to your performance on the road as well.
The violence.
Yes.
Well, we have no plans on doing so right now, but maybe one day we'll make some strange collaboration, or you never know with Dogma.
But yeah, I liked in the beginning how that video opened up with those.
Yes, I understand. Three girls.
Yes, yes. But let's talk about that, your latest single and the message in that song.
My matricidal follows on the story. So after Fate unblinds, the Dark Messiah grows up and she finds that there is this involvement between the Dark Messiah and the Dusk Messiah. And because she learns this truth, again, the theme of truth comes back. Her life is in danger, my life is in danger, and at this point the messiahs conspire or will go and attempted to kill me, which they did not succeed, which is why at the end of the video I was able to wake up. As you may have seen, what happens next is part of the story which will be told in the upcoming album. But matricidal explores the theme again of trust and betrayal a little, and not only that, but about what happens when you find out about the truth, and not only what it implies with the betrayal, but the result of it. Because the fact is, once the truth is just the beginning, like the tip of the iceberg of a change. Because sometimes you find out, you realize something, okay, this is the truth about the situation, I can finally see it. But the most important part sometimes is not just being able to see this, but what you do with this. Will you accept it? Will you be in denial? Will you change something?
Mm.
And the thing is, most often than not, staying in the lie can be the biggest comfort. It's what's comfortable, a comfortable lie than an uncomfortable truth.
Mm.
And some people choose to stay living in that lie just because they're afraid of what it means to confront this truth. So that's one of the themes that comes forward, is now that the truth is there and it cannot be ignored. And that's also exciting. What will I do now after this betrayal, after this truth? And that's for sinners to find out with our next album.
Nice. And like as you were just explaining that, it had me thinking back to like your what you were just talking about with free yourself. I've learned on my personal journey, like you said, if you could stay in the light and be comfortable, live comfortably, I guess, but sometimes to become our authentic self, we have to embrace, like Carl Jung would talk about, our shadow, do our shadow work, embrace our shadow side. And it sounds like with the messiahs, you have, the light, you have the dark, and you have the dusk. I guess the combination
Mm.
maybe of that or maybe I'm reading too much into it, or overthinking like I normally do.
Human trait. Well, I think going a little bit beyond the messiahs, what you're saying has its own truth, which is what we would like our sinners to do, and is question themselves often, question your life. Because if you don't do this kind of questioning to the things around you, you'll still end up with something, just probably not something you chose, not a life you chose. So
Mm,
asking yourself these questions: why does this make me uncomfortable? Why does is this still right for me? Is this still aligned with me? Do I still want this? Why do I want this? When did I start wanting this? Was this something I inherited from my friends, from my family, from my relationships, from my society, or is this something which is actually true to myself? And with this questioning, and this has to be done constantly because we change with time, and that's okay. What is important is to always be engaged in this activity of questioning the things around you so that you just don't end up with anything, because at the end you will end up with some kind of life. But if you don't choose what it is, you won't choose your life, and it won't be authentic.
yes, I've been learning that in my later years now. With age comes wisdom, I guess they say, but always a student
Come on, it's a
of life.
1,000-year-old demon, you know.
Yeah, I got some catching up to do. I, but but yeah, I always try to remain teachable, in life. And I feel like this journey now that I am taking with the Dogma storyline and your storyline in the music videos is teaching me something about myself as well.
That is fantastic. That's all we would love to hear. And the thing is, as you mentioned, you're teachable. That's probably the most important quality, being open to learning, because the moment you think you know it all, you become ignorant because you don't think there's anything else to learn, and you get stuck within your own ideas and reality, and there's no possibility of change. So that's probably the most important thing, to be open to change and to learning more about yourself, more about life, more about others, more about whatever it is.
Yes, and funny because I was just having a conflict earlier in the day, something similar of what you were just talking about. I'm a person that's in recovery. I've been sober 17 years now,
Mm.
and in my journey, I have to rely on a higher source. And like I said, I was raised Catholic, and that wasn't that that kind of that felt confining. It didn't like work for my journey. I struggled with that. I felt like I was never going to be good enough, you know, and a lot of shame and guilt of just living, trying to be my authentic self came along with that. And since I've been on my recovery journey, like finding out, just knowing that I am not, I mean, I know that God is within, but I also got to remind myself to like that I am not really a God. I need to rely on a higher power and learn from one that's more loving and accepting of my authentic self, I guess. I don't know. Didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but
You're all right. Well, coming back to something you said, guilt and shame are very interesting because most people experience guilt and shame at some point or other of their lives for different reasons. But guilt or shame are things which we mostly and often experience because of the society or the things around us. It's because we think this is what we're expected to think, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, this sense of morality. And you feel this, oh, I feel guilty. Why do you feel guilty? Because I was told that this is not right, because I was taught that this is not right. And that's why it's important to question this kind of things and the systems around you. And I think the more you deconstruct those systems and these ideas that most grow up with, this feelings of guilt and shame and morality about what you should be, what you shouldn't be, what is right and what is wrong, and you're able to separate yourself a little from this, you really do find your more authentic self once you're able to get past these feelings of shame or guilt.
And going back to your music videos, I know like the with the I guess the barriers that I grew up under, the belief system that I grew up under, um it was like I would have felt shame and guilt for like enjoying watching your music videos, maybe even getting aroused watching the videos and the storylines tell its tale. But now that I've been like, I mean, I guess they could be considered or controversial, very
Yes.
controversial. But when I look back at the cover you did, let's talk about Like a Prayer, the cover of Madonna's Like a Prayer. When that video originally came out, that was considered very highly controversial, and Dogma seems to take it up a notch or two.
Yes, absolutely. But again, that's what we want to do. We want to make people feel something, I guess, whether that is feeling uncomfortable, whether that's feeling aroused, whether that's feeling intrigued, doesn't matter, but just feel something. Because when you feel something, you have to start wondering, why did I feel this? Why does this make me feel this way? So, absolutely. And speaking of covers, we might have just a couple more coming up as we plan to release an cover album, well, cover EP later this year.
Oh, nice, nice.
So,
Looking forward to that. I'm hoping the theme that is Dogma, kind of, and picking like a prayer was like a perfect for Dogma to do. So I'm hoping the theme going forward are similar types of songs, but whatever
you will find out very soon.
yes, whatever you ladies decide, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy thoroughly.
Sure, and all the sinners will be delighted.
Yes, for sure. And then we were talking about I mean we mentioned you got the cover EP that you're going to be working on, but also with My Matricidal, the new album. When
Yes.
when can fans expect that, and what more can you tell us about the new album?
I can tell you that the new album will be ready probably at the beginning of 2027. And in terms of what to expect, sinners can expect to hear more about the themes of betrayal, life, death, truth, which have been already exposed in Fate Unblinds and My Matricidal. These themes will be re explored and, how do I put this? Digged in deeply or into more profundity.
And going back to the music videos too, as you said about following the storylines, I'm a big fan of like Marvel comics and the Marvel movies, and how like they always had that after the credit scene. You got to stick around in the theater a little bit to see that little scene that was going to kind of give you a glimpse of what's coming next. And you guys
Mhm.
kind of do that. I don't have to wait as long, but it's after the to be continued, you tell a little story of what to expect and
We do
what's
like to
next.
create that little hint of suspense of what's coming next.
And then you've mentioned when I was looking on Apple Music and like viewing the credits after listening to some of the songs, you've already mentioned the Dark Messiah, the Dusk Messiah, and the Light Messiah. How do they play a role in the creativity? Because I see them mentioned as well in the credits of the songs?
Well, in terms of the past gospel, that is already in the past and therefore moving on forward in the future. The current album we're working on, as well as Fatum Lines and Matricidal, we have help involvement from the Light Messiah, who has always been part of the team and the universe of Dogma. And now, in terms of creativity, the Dusk Messiah or the Dark Messiah are only now part of Lilith's story. And that's how we intend to keep it.
Okay. And then the like where you are going with the production of this new album that you're working on. Are you allowed to discuss who you're working with, you know, in the production world? Well, like what studios you're recording at and stuff, or
You'll find out soon enough. Part
okay.
of the mystery for now. We want their sinners to be surprised.
And then the name of the new album, or any hints towards that yet, or I have to still wait again?
You'll have to wait for that one too.
Yeah, I mean, me being a sinner, you know, patience has never been one of my virtues, but I guess I'll have to learn. This is the Light Messiah teaching me how to be patient, I guess. Good things come to those who wait, right?
And I've never been much of a pleaser, so
I mean, the video's kind of, I don't know, you know, there's a toss up, but it depends what you're into, I guess, you know? And then you said you just came back from a European tour. How did the message go over
absolutely
there?
fantastic. We had a great time of touring. We did 3 months. We started the first leg of the tour in Europe. We toured part of the tour with another fantastic band called Lord of the Lost. And it was great because we were able to spread our message to new sinners who perhaps were not aware of us, who maybe hadn't gotten to experience the show before, hadn't heard of Dogma. And this is always great because a lot of new people can come and find out about us, our message, the imagery, everything. Being able to watch it is spectacular. And then also we had our headliner shows in Europe, which were all sold out. And it's amazing because what this hints at is that people are understanding and are enjoying the message we're trying to give. We had wonderful shows in the UK, a couple in Germany, and it was just unbelievable. Like completely sold out shows and having this energy from one country to the other, and then also experiencing this in Central and South America is incredible because you realize it's not just one place that is being relating with this, like one culture or one country, but seeing this message being spread worldwide and understood by so many sinners of so many different backgrounds. You realize that there's something that resonates with all these people. So it was unbelievable. And then finishing up with the European and South American tour, we played a couple of festivals. So we played Copenhagen in Copenhagen, we played Tuska, we played Bass and Fire Fest, we played Rock Hearts in Germany, played a couple of festivals. And playing these festivals and massive festivals is just the perfect way to end such a successful run. So incredibly grateful, incredibly happy, and honestly can't wait for next year.
Yes. I just came back from one of the Danny Wimmer festivals. Incarceration was this past weekend near my home, and I think Dogma would be perfect on that festival with the setup in front of the prison that they filmed Shawshank Redemption in the background and everything. I think
Wonderful.
the
Yes,
sisters would do well there. The energy, I think, would be very
absolutely.
great. So
Give
hopefully
it
that
all.
in the future. For sure, for sure. But like speaking, yeah, of the United States, I think you were through last year, I believe. I believe my friends, The Killer's Confession, were on the bill.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. Waylon's a good friend of mine, and
Oh, Waylon.
I I I was bummed I didn't. That's where I first caught a glimpse of, you
Mm.
enticed me. The Dogma, you know, sisters. I guess pulled me in that with from the, seeing you connected with that. But any plans on another run through the United States here?
Yes, we had plans earlier this year. Unfortunately, we had some issues with the visas. As you might see, a lot of bands have also been experiencing problems with this. And unfortunately, it's something that no matter what you do, sometimes it's just a little hard because if you can't get them approved, there's not much you can do. Or like if you have problems with this, delays, it's just inconvenience. So we had some delays with them and we had to postpone the tour for now. And we're hoping to get that resolved as soon as possible so that we can be back in the States as soon as possible.
Yes, I hope so. Hope it all works out.
Yes, I'm
I need
sure
my
it will.
Dogma in person. Um,
Yes.
but with that, like what other than the cover album you're getting ready what's going to come first, the cover album and then the new album?
The cover EP will come before the end of this year, and then we will have the new album at the beginning of next. So our listeners will have plenty of new material for the next tour.
Okay, great. And I'm sure there will be a continuation and a continuation of the storylines that we could enjoy on YouTube as well.
Of course, videos will be there too because part of the story is very visual. It's part of the Dogma verse. Seeing these characters, theatrics, it's very important to us to be able not only to create something musically, but also visually, like an audio visual experience.
And what do you feel like is the end goal for Lilith on her journey?
I don't understand the end goal.
What is Lilith's plans? Uh, hoping going forward. I mean, the masses are getting bigger and bigger. Um,
Yes.
what is there a goal in mind for Lilith going forward?
Well, for me, going forward would be to take over the world, tour all continents, get to play everywhere. I would love the message of Dogma and the sisters and I to be able to go everywhere, do more South America, more North America, Canada, go into other parts of Europe, who knows, perhaps Asia, Australia. We have a lot of places to still take over.
And I was just thinking too of another band that I think would be perfect on a Dogma bill, from Cleveland here. Midnight. Are you familiar with Midnight?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, definitely check them out. I see uh, the Dogma sisters running with Midnight, and it could be a great tour package for sure.
Well, I'll look into it, perhaps. You never
And
know.
yeah, if I was the booking messiah, that's what I would put together for sure. You know, um,
The booking messiah. I love that.
now if before we get ready and wrap up, I want to ask you a couple questions that I normally ask guests that I have on here. We
Hmm.
talked about some of the music that influenced you, little Lilith, along the way, but who would you say are kind of your top three artists that you're listening to today?
Today, well, I heavily go back to artists which I've loved my whole life, and I'm currently kind of doing that at the moment. I just got back into a loop of listening to these artists. One of them, Radiohead. I absolutely adore Radiohead, and I just jumped back into it recently. I've been playing a lot of their In Rainbows guitar parts. Absolutely love that album. Definitely been listening to that a lot. I've been listening to a lot of Metallica lately too. They were just performing this world tour and it kept popping up on my feed and just got me straight back into it. Just saying this shows, it's just kind of felt right. And the third artist, what have I been lately into? Let me think about it. Radiohead, Metallica. Oh, actually, I was listening to Black Label Society. We were just in Rock Hearts recently, and we had the pleasure of meeting Zach Wild, and yeah, I was listening to actually one of their earlier records, and God, what is the name of the song? Bridge to Cross. I think I listened to that song maybe 20 times yesterday. So,
Nice.
yes.
And then who are three people who've inspired you and you can credit for making you the person you are today?
Generally speaking,
Yes.
three people, you mean like three role models?
Yeah. So are people in your life that you feel have inspired you or you can credit for making you who you are?
Mm, well, I honestly would not credit any three people in my life for making me who I am because at the end of the day, what the things that have happened to me or the things that I've grown through, the experiences I've had, I'm the one who has made the decisions which have led me to becoming the person that I am today, who I'm really proud of. Actually, I'm very proud of myself and I'm very in peace and comfortable with who I am. And I think that this is a long process of this, a series of decisions which I took, maybe sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst. But when it was for the worst, I learned about it and I grew. So, in terms of becoming who I am, I have to give myself credit for the good, for the bad, because when it was good, it was great. And when it was bad, I had to learn.
Kind of what we were talking about earlier about discovering your authentic self
Yes.
along the way, embracing the shadow side and not staying comfortable, I guess, in the light. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes we don't always make the right choices, but if we don't learn, then we're not growing.
Exactly. Exactly. When there's
And then,
mistakes, there's room to grow.
yes, yeah. Yeah, like I used to do jujitsu, and old coach used to say, "You either win or you learn," and that's I try and put that towards life as well.
I absolutely love that. Well, I practice Muay Thai and I was doing that for quite a while where I was pursuing it. I wanted to do it professionally. And one of the most interesting experiences my coach or things I heard my coach say was you know who walks into the ring, but you don't know who walks out of it. That's actually what made me want to fight because I wanted to find out who was going to walk out of the ring. And I think this applies to life too. Life's a constant battle of everything. So you know how you walk into a situation, but you don't really know who's going to walk out of it. You just will find out once you do.
I like that. I like
And
that. Yeah,
you have to face on.
exactly.
Whatever
Yeah,
it is, you face it and you come in as you are. And well, when you come out, you'll be a new person.
yeah. I like that. That's very good. I'm gonna take that for myself as well. So, with your
Please do.
permission, of course.
Please do. I'm happy. I might borrow yours too.
All right, good. We'll swap.
It's good.
And then, like, well, it's like, I try and be like, one thing I always try and tell myself is just like, I'm not always going to hit home runs every day, but if I can just be a little bit better today than I was yesterday, then, that's improvement. It's progress, not perfection, you
Of
know?
course. And the thing is, if everybody were to improve 1% every day after 100 days, you'd be 100% better and you'd be a different person. So it's not about quantity, it's about consistency often.
Amen. Amen. If I may say that. And then are there any causes or organizations out there that you support and encourage other people to check out?
Well, for everyone to find freedom and any causes which support human life and human freedom, I support those.
Great. And then you mentioned, I haven't asked this question in a while, but since you mentioned that you had practiced Muay Thai and were looking to go professional, I don't know if you still keep up in the world of MMA, but do you have like a favorite MMA fighter that you follow?
I definitely find Patty the Batty quite entertaining. I think he has a very funny personality, which I enjoy watching, as well as he's a great fighter. I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's definitely someone who I find entertaining to watch.
And I forgot. Did you say that you still practice or?
Yes, when I'm not taking over the world in my sexy nun outfit, I find myself putting on the gloves.
Nice, nice. I would love to see a fight where you stay in the sexy nun outfit and come out to the ring. That would be something. They just did that thing. What was it?
Perhaps
Blood for
do a
Blood with.
meet and beat instead of meet and greet, where I'll just put on the gloves and beat up my sinners.
There you go. Some of us need that. Some of us repentant ones. We need that. But you saw that Blood for Blood thing. I don't know if you saw that they did with Alex the Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail, where he fought in that. They had
Sure,
like a metal music and fight card that happened earlier in the year.
Hmm.
Maybe that's something that Dogma can be a part of going forward as well.
You never know with Dogma.
Nice.
Well,
Well, before we get ready and wrap up, because I want to be cognizant of your time. I know Lilith's got to get back to
yes,
taking over the world, and there's
I
other sinners you
my
need to
job.
seduce out there than myself. For any fans out there that are watching this that may be new to hearing about Dogma and want to follow and support the journey of Dogma and Lilith, where would you send them?
Where would I send them? I would send them to our official YouTube where you can find the videos. I would watch the videos, look at the audiovisual story. You can also find us Spotify, Apple Music, and you can always find official Dogma on Instagram and Dogma Lilith as well if you want to know more about me, the mother of sin.
Great. Lilith, I thank you so much for your time. Can I ask one last favor before I let you go?
Go ahead.
Do you mind cutting a promo ID for my show? Just introduce yourself, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
To today's
Boondoggle.
Boondoggy. Yes. Hello, my name Hello, my name is Lilith from Dogma, and you're listening to today's Boondoggy.
Okay, thank you very much, Lilith. Appreciate your time.
Of course, it was a pleasure.
You take care. I look forward to
You
seeing
too.
what's next in your chapters.
Oh, you will very soon.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right! Listen up! Hold on to your seats. Grab your girls, grab your beers.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so one Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.